We're docket number 1351CR 1520.
Right, I'll wait for you.
Area appearance, Mr. Hall. So, area appearance.
Yes, you did, Your Honor.
Any problem with that from the Commerce Department? Thank you. Question down.
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning, Your Honor. My name is McGovern, Assistant District Attorney for Middlesex County. Request of the Commonwealth this defendant be held without bail in the charges for which he is arraigned today. The Commonwealth will also present, Your Honor, with arguments as to why this defendant should have the conditions of bail revoked that were set in this court this week on Wednesday morning. Your Honor, the events before you, the charges of murder, of assault and battery, of assault and dangerous weapon, pertain to an incident that occurred last evening, August 15, 2013, approximately 9 p.m. at 1203 Stearns Hill Road in Waltham. Multiple 911 calls were placed to Waltham PD from numerous individuals who overheard an argument that escalated into conflict within the confines of a two-story townhouse at that address, Your Honor. And frantic persons called in when they also witnessed and saw that conflict when it erupted outside the confines of the townhouse into the patio. This home was inhabited by the defendant before you, Jerry Remy, and his girlfriend of 7 years, Jennifer Martel, who is now deceased. Also inhabited by their daughter, who is almost 5 years old. And the 911 calls caused a number of officers to immediately respond from the Waltham Police Department to that address. Your Honor, you may be aware that there is also an open matter that pertains to an incident that was alleged to have occurred this week, specifically Tuesday, August 13th, 2013. That was a call of a verbal domestic incident that escalated into an incident where this defendant is alleged to have pushed Ms. Martel into a mirror in a bathroom. And as a result of that, he was arrested. He posted bail at the police station and then walked into this courtroom Wednesday morning where he was arraigned on 1 count of assault and battery, dangerous weapon. He was released on the condition requested by the Commonwealth that he refrain from any abuse. There also was an emergency restraining order that had been taken out by Ms. Martel the evening before. It was granted by, I believe, Judge Armstrong. However, Ms. Martel elected not to extend that emergency restraining order and did not come to the court on Wednesday morning. After this defendant was released on the conditions of refraining from any abuse against Ms. Martel, he returned to his home. And what is known to the Commonwealth at this time, Your Honor, is that we have eyewitness accounts of not only what I referenced earlier, people who heard an argument ensuing roughly 9 p.m. last evening, but people who then saw the physical altercation fall out into the patio and saw this defendant on top of Ms. Martel, stabbing her repeatedly with a knife. There was even one neighbor who sought to intervene and stop this defendant from attacking Ms. Martel. He reached out trying to pull this defendant off of her. He was not successful in doing so, and in fact the defendant turned around and swung his knife at this man, the basis of one of the 3 charges that are currently in front of you. This is not the first time this defendant has appeared in a court. However, while it is true that there have been no appearances or no convictions within the last 7 or 8 years, there were prior convictions dating back to 2004 and 2005 that do not involve the individuals involved in the charges before you today. The Commonwealth's request, Your Honor, that this defendant be held without bail is based on the strength of the Commonwealth's case against this defendant, as well as the severity of the crimes, the severity of the injuries, the horrific nature of the brutal killing of Jennifer Martel. In addition to the eyewitness account of the neighbor who tried to stop this defendant, there are also witnesses who gave detailed accounts of communications that occurred between this defendant and Ms. Martel that day and the evening before. And in essence, Your Honor, this defendant was upset and was angry and sought to control the actions and the behavior of Ms. Martel. A search warrant was obtained by the Commonwealth and executed at this address. And as a result of the execution of this search warrant, Your Honor, there's significant forensic evidence which has been seized and is awaiting analysis at the State Police Laboratory. These forensic samples, Your Honor, and the photographs taken and the observations made evince a long, protracted struggle within the townhouse, Your Honor, at various different and distinct parts of this home. In the kitchen, on the stairway, in the living room, by the doorway, outside of the patio. Significant blood patterns that reveal the great force and great effort was made by this defendant in stabbing Ms. Martel over and over and over again. While an autopsy has yet to be performed on Ms. Martel's body, the nature of the injuries were obvious, were horrific, were apparent, including slashes and stab wounds on her head, on her neck, on her legs, on her body, on her hands. When the police arrived, this defendant raised his hands. Ms. Martel's blood apparently quite substantially over a great portion of his body. He was arrested and he was brought to the police department. On the basis of the strength of the Commonwealth's case, the eyewitness testimony, the forensics, as well as the nature of the injuries and the story that they tell, Your Honor, on the basis of the severity of the alleged crimes and on the severity of the punishment this defendant faces, the Commonwealth's belief that the only measure for this court to take that will ensure that this defendant appears to face these charges is to hold this defendant at this time without bail. And in addition, the Commonwealth also requests that the bail conditions set earlier in the week be revoked.
Thank you, Counsel. Mr. Bell.
Good morning, Your Honor. Peter Bell from Mr. Remy. Your Honor, obviously I'm just being made aware of a lot of these facts, and I would suggest to the court that at this point, I'm not prepared to act the no bail request from the Commonwealth. I would ask the court to, that in any action the court takes this morning, that they do so plainly, so an argument can be made at the date.
Counsel, thank you both. Mr. Clerk, the motion to revoke is allowed in the pre-existing case. I'm going to order the defendant held without bail. I'm not going to make any express representations, Mr. Bell, about it being without prejudice or otherwise, but if it's some future time, whoever's representing him has an argument that there was something that would have been brought to the court's attention, the court may be inclined to hear that. In the meantime, whoever is held without bail. Sir, you have the right to appeal this bail. And the next sitting of the Superior Court will have ordered revocation of your release on the pre-existing case. If at any point you're on release while the new case is pending to charge with another crime, local, state, or federal, you fail to come to court on any date at which you ordered to be here, or if you violate any term or condition of your release after hearing you could be held without bail. Mr. Valentin?
We discussed September 12th, I believe.
That's fine.
And we just discussed the procedural event to be scheduled.
Yes, Your Honor.
And what would the event be called?
It would be called improbable cause hearing.
So please, Mr. Clerk, if there was a different date on the other case, that'll be on for pre-trial or advance and move that case, Mr. Valentin.
That had October 1st date.
Then we'll bring that forward and have it on for this end.
And, excuse me, Your Honor, we do have one small matter. I'll send it to the defense counsel.
Please.
With respect to the encounter, just other name. And there's one for each topic.
Document 135-1CR-1520, hearing this matter, Martel bail, further advised by the right to remember to include Superior Court, further advised that we shall make bail in this case, and that rearrest charge of any offenses you could be held without bail for up to a period of 60 days. On document 135-1CR-1499, the bail is revoked in that manner and required without bail for 60 days. That stays continued to September 12th, for trial hearing.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, please.